Well, of course, this is the unofficial start of the summer season. They always say Memorial Day weekend kind of kicks everything off. Everybody's getting outside, ready to get on our area lakes and enjoy them. And we are here with Matthew Cameron from the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, the TWRA. And Matthew, I know it's a favorite time of year. Beautiful time of year.
It is. We look forward to it every year because we have so much water here in East Tennessee. We've been blessed with rivers and lakes and streams and just a lot of places for people to get out and enjoy the great outdoors, East Tennessee.
Certainly we want to get out, we want to have all of that family fun, but really need to think about safety. And what a perfect time as we're really heading into a new summer season to talk a little bit about safety.
Yes, ma'am. We've already had 9 fatal boating accidents this year, and that's a really high start considering we're just now getting to the Memorial Day weekend, and we don't want to see that number increase any higher. So we just encourage folks to be vigilant and just to be safe as possible while enjoying their time out there on the waterways. And that really starts with just some preparation, you know, having your boat prepared to be out there and be seaworthy for one thing, but having the proper safety equipment on board. And, you know, kids 12 and under have to wear their life jackets at all time while underway. Unfortunately, adults don't have to, but we always encourage wearing your personal flotation device at all times while out there, and having the other safety equipment on board, such as a throwable device. In case someone falls out, you can throw it to them. They can hang on to it. A working fire extinguisher, and a way to make a sufficient sound signal like a whistle or a horn. So just some basic safety equipment that could mean the difference in life or death.
What about on some of our personal watercraft? Those continue to be so popular on our area lakes, and those two kind of come with their own sort of bag of dangers as well.
They do, yeah. Personal watercraft, a lot of folks call them a jet ski or something like that, but you sit on top of it and you ride it, and it's very popular among younger folks. So boating education, for one thing, would be a really good way to start, is having yourself educated and being prepared to be out there on the water. So if you're born after January 1st of 1989, you have to have a boating education certificate to operate a boat now. So, but getting back to PWCs in general, you have to wear your life jacket on board a personal watercraft no matter what age. So everybody on board has to have that on. Make sure it fits you. It's not way too big because we see people go in and it come off of them sometimes because it was oversized. So, and good working order, no rips or tears and that kind of thing. And you also have to have a ignition safety switch on there or a safety lanyard. So if you are ejected from a personal watercraft, which is probably going to happen at some point, it kills the power to it so that you can safely get back on it.
And one of the things I always worry about is for those families that are out tubing and enjoying things like that, and of course your tuber falls off as you're trying to get and circle around back when they're in that water. Maybe just some important tips for what we should be doing when we're out tubing and things like that on the lake when they're in there. Certainly. And not quite as visible as a big boat.
Absolutely, that's a great point. A lot of folks are going to tow someone on a tube or wakeboard or wake surfing or some kind of other activity where you're in the water. So that starts with everyone having a life jacket on as well. If you're participating in any of those activities, you do have to wear your life jacket out there. And then secondly, you have to have an observer on board. If you're towing somebody on a tube, you have to have somebody on board that can watch them so that the operator can watch what's going on around them and not be looking over their shoulder the whole time paying attention to that. If you don't have an observer, you have to have a wide angle mirror to be able to see what's happening behind you, but we would strongly recommend having an observer on board. And then picking someone up. This is, I've seen so many accidents happen where the person is ejected from the tube or the wakeboard, and the operator turns around to pick them back up, and they end up striking that individual and harming them or killing them. So keep them on the driver's side of the boat for one thing. Most of the operator's positions on a boat is on the right-hand side, so you're going to want to keep that person in the water on that side, because if they're on the other side, you lose visual on them for a brief moment right there. So that way you can see them, and then when you get up next to them, go ahead and put the engine in neutral and turn it off. A lot of times you think you have the engine in neutral, but the propeller is still spinning, and when that person goes to get back in the boat from the back, they end up getting struck by the propeller. So if you turn the engine off, there's no fear of propeller strike injuries.
So certainly some really good information, and then we know that on those beautiful weekends, the sun's out, everybody wants to get out on those area lakes. Just some information maybe for watching your way around and really respecting your other boaters.
Another great point, Amy. There are no lanes of traffic on the waterways. There are no speed limits, there are no stop signs or traffic signals, so there are boats going in all directions out there, and it creates a very dangerous environment. So having a proper lookout. being aware of your entire surroundings while you're driving a boat. You know, when we're on the highway, we're primarily concerned with what is in front of us, maybe what's behind us, but we have lanes out there. But on the water, people are going every direction at different speeds, and a lot of folks don't know the rules of the road out there. So please be vigilant, pay attention to your surroundings at all times, and just try to avoid running into another boat or the shoreline, and know your area waterway as well.
So obviously another thing, you want to have fun, but you sure need to be careful on what we're drinking out on the lake.
Alcohol affects you worse on the water than it does on the shore, because there are additional stressors that you encounter while boating, such as the noise from the engine, the wind, the wave action, the glare coming off of the water, and dehydration in general are going to intensify the effects of alcohol. So we would strongly encourage that you avoid using alcohol on the boat, whether operating or being a passenger on there. If you're of legal drinking age and you choose to participate in alcohol consumption, please do that respectfully, know your limits, carry plenty of additional water, and stay hydrated at all times, and then always designate a sober operator who can safely get you back to the shore or back to the dock while everyone else is enjoying themselves. But we have seen accidents that happen not from the operator being impaired, but the passengers being impaired, where they decide to do things that they normally wouldn't do while not under the influence, such as jump into the lake while the boat is going down the lake. They jump in, or they will fall. Boat's pretty unstable to begin with. Right. You add alcohol to it, there's more likelihood to fall, and people are hitting their head, falling overboard, not wearing a life jacket, and end up drowning. So just please be respectful of alcohol use while on the water this summer.
Well, certainly some great information as we head out. We want to have lots of fun over the summer, but we sure want that fun to be safe for ourselves and for our families and for our friends and neighbors.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for the great information.
Thank you.
Hey, for more too, you can always check out the website tnwildlife.org.